Well, hey, how y'all doing out there? Listen, I'm sorry I'm coming up on the camera like this because I'm a little bit busy, but I just got a message from a brother about this Alex Jones thing, and I just want to explain something to y'all because I lost my YouTube channel, but I lost it because of people turning me in, not because of YouTube thinking I'm a truther or I'm opening eyes or I'm a threat to the New World Order. People turn you in. These networks, these corporations, these people, these social media people like YouTube, which is Google and Facebook and all, they're not coming at you. You get turned in by people. These people may be paid by the corporations to be out there looking for people telling the truth. But the bottom line is anything that gets taken offline gets taken off, just like Richard Spencer got took off by people pushing it. You push hard enough, you push long enough, Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of them, they'll take you off. Okay, so there you go. That's how that works. Now, in saying this, let me repeat the Alex Jones story for y'all out there that may have forgot, because Alex Jones is fixing to get a big bunch of publicity that him and his crew do not deserve because they are liars and mouthpieces for the New World Order. They are a bane and an embarrassment and traitors to the conspiracy theorists of the world out there. And he's just plain an idiot. Now, you want to know why Alex Jones has been acting crazy for about the last several years, doing I Love the Earth and the steroid things and all this, and looking like the sellout he is? Because it finally got to him, didn't it, Alex Jones? I knew it'd break you, son. The truth is, Alex Jones started out good, y'all. He did. And he locked in on the Bilderbergers, and for some reason, he couldn't report and move on. He had to stick with them Bilderbergers. And he got all mouthy like he used to, and he was calling them out by name. He was going to where they was meeting. He's got videos of it. And he was sitting out there, was he not? I see you, Mr. Bilderberger. I see you, blah, blah. And he was busting out these mega rich people. Look, y'all, whether you want to believe anything else in the world or not, the Bilderbergers get together once a year to decide the price of oil, to decide who lives and who dies, who's a country, who ain't, who's going to run. They play the show. They tell people like Clinton, like the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, they tell people like that how to run the show. All right, so the Bilderbergers and the people that go to places like Bohemian Grove, these are the power structures. These are the ruling class that think they rule you, and they gave you all these things. All right, so he's busting them out, right? Well, it got to a point to where they hemmed his ass up in the airport. Now, all this information is gone, and I'm surprised that Alex Jones don't even talk about this no more. He could have redeemed himself, but he ain't, because he ain't a redeemer. He's a selfish piece of shit. And I don't blame him. But let me finish my story. So the Bilderbergers get him hemmed up in the airport, right? And I heard Alex Jones from his own mouth while he was crying, telling this story. They told me they killed my wife. They killed my family. My wife's Jewish. They told me they'd make it all big thing. They'd make it look like let him watch it, and then they ruin his name. Or if he didn't shut up, or he could do what he was still doing since he had him a nice little following, even blow up that Bilderberger scare, but then make it look like he was this renegade Alex Jones, and I'm going to get on my channel, and I'm going to, I'm Alex Jones, I'm Alex Jones. He'll give you some half truths, then he twist shit. I'm going to give you proof right here. Here's all the proof you need about what a piece of shit Alex Jones is. The FEMA coffins. The FEMA coffins. These ain't FEMA coffins, y'all. There's a company up there by Atlanta that manufactures these things. They're grave liners. They're the tomb. Like when what do you think? Your coffin just goes in the ground. Your coffin goes in this big concrete box, and they make you a tomb. They make these out of plastic. They mold them out of plastic, and they make them like a little pyramid-looking thing. When he's laying in the box saying 3 people, think about that. It's supposed to fit over the coffin. The lid ain't the lid. The lid is the bottom, and then the FEMA coffin, the tomb, the grave liner goes over the top, and then when they fill it in dirt, it's been molded in a way that you can't crush it. They go look it up. Just fucking look it up. I get upset about that one because I went to the place outside of Macon, Georgia, and the farmer who is no longer farming because of the taxes went up on his farmland was storing them. And yes, the federal government had 50,000 on order and 5,000 on the lot, but they're burying Vietnam and Korean war vets right now. They got to bury all these people that were in them wars. Think of all the people that was in the Vietnam War. Their people are coming. They're all in their 70s and 80s now, 60s, 70s. They're burying this group of men, this generation of men. So sure they got. And when you extrude plastic, you just can't make one coffin here and one coffin there. Hey, I'm going to make 100. When you start extruding plastic and manufacturing plastic, it's a melting process. So you put them out, you stamp them out. The bottom line is Alex Jones lied about the FEMA coffins. And then that's when I started paying attention. And thought everything he said was a half truth. But then he let his goddamn buddies and Joe Knight and David Biggs, or Joe Biggs and David Knight. You two bastards work for Big Oil. You work for the New World Order. These sons of bitches got out there while Alex Jones is dancing around without no shirt and acting like a crazy man because he knows he sold us out and he's a fucking punk-ass coward. Got David Knight and Joe Biggs out there talking about how the DAPL protesters provoked dogs and got bit by dogs on purpose, and that the New World Order or the oil companies are being attacked. He sounded like the mouthpiece for the New World Order energy companies. David Knight did, like he should be working for Halliburton. And Joe Biggs, you punk son of a bitch, you were all worried about dogs with being in the hospital and trying to say that that 300 people got bit by dogs and they hurt the dogs when 30 people were coming after them. That was 10 to 1 odds. They could have tore up the security people. Y'all told a lie. Like when they spray painted the blade on the bulldozer and y'all said they vandalized the bulldozer. Spray paint's gonna come off. Y'all picture that. Y'all made the no DAPL water protectors, those heroes out west. You made them look like criminals. You lied about the big oil takeover of the Dakotas up there and what they were really doing. So we've watched you lie, Alex Jones. We have watched you lie, and your people, Paul Michael Watson, shame on you. This man came to me years ago for that video I did on the Appalachian Trail when I was on the Appalachian Trail about the Confederate flag, and they threw me under the bus, y'all. InfoWars threw me under the bus, and yeah, that video got a lot of views and a lot of people, but they put it in a perspective of just they threw me under the bus. Let's put it that way. They always twist. They twist freedom. They twist the truth. Alex Jones, you twisted the truth. But here's the truth about Alex Jones, y'all. More people know about this. Everybody should know about it. But he has really been acting the nut. Have y'all not seen the way that he is really showing his ass here like the last 5 or 6 years? He gets in his chair to do his show, and first he looks kind of bored, and then he starts and making faces and acting crazy. It's because he don't even want y'all. He's tired of fooling y'all. I think somewhere deep down inside Alex Jones, he hates it that he took those millions and millions of dollars. His wife that he saved, and he should have saved her because they was married at the time. She divorced him. All this, listen, he's a fake. That's why she divorced him. He acts crazy because he knows he's a fake. He don't want y'all to believe him anymore. He wants to be the sideshow clown that he sold out to be. But don't you stop for a minute, any of you, and ever think for a second that from the time the Bilderbergers threatening him until the day with them taking his stuff off, because that's why they took his stuff off. He just ain't believable no more. He is losing subscriptions. He is losing YouTube views. The likes and dislikes have completely flip-flopped, especially since the no DAPL thing and when he started promoting the Switch. I mean, he was losing hardline conservative when he went off on Trump or even supported Trump, or just his whole roller coaster lifestyle. He was doing this, I believe. I don't know this. I'm not a clinical psychologist, but think about if you sold out millions of people that believed in you and gave you their money and supposedly made you a millionaire. Because he wasn't no millionaire before that Bilderberg incident. You get it now? Got to look at the timeline and then follow the money. Where did he get all that studio time money? Where did he get all that money for that equipment? Where did he get money to hire people like David Knight and Joe Biggs and Paul Michael Watson? Huh? He didn't get it all from y'all. He didn't get none of that from y'all, as a matter of fact. He probably gets to keep the little bit of YouTube funds and advertisement he gets. Now, in saying all this, Trump or this administration, you want to blame it on him. Okay, fine. We'll say Trump is doing this, and Trump hates fake news, or this administration hates fake news, and they're saying that they're going to start censoring people. They've been censoring people, but they've been getting you to do it to your own brother. This is what I've been telling y'all. All these fucking programs are self-maintained programs. In other words, we keep it up. There's no Facebook police. There ain't no YouTube police. Google did hire a bunch of people to start going through actually doing the human aspect because they were getting so many complaints because channels like mine getting shut down supposedly for hate speech because 100 people turned it in or 200 people turned it in or whatever. They had a computer making the decision, but it's still people turning you in. They don't have a computer going, I promise you this, you can tell me I'm wrong till you're blue in the face. Show me proof where YouTube has people, Google has people doing anything other than enforcing a court order, like if a court order says you got to take their material down or blah, blah, blah. But when people turn you in for breaking community standards like Facebook or our community standards for YouTube or Google, the people turned you in. Google didn't come look you down. Look how many people, hey, look on Facebook at how many friend requests you get from them hooker profiles from Asia or Nigeria. They're up all the time. Sometimes they stay up to it. They stay up until somebody turns it in. You see what I'm saying? I turn this in for a fake profile. I'm tired of getting these porn hooker sites coming up on my friend request. So you start turning them in. That's how they do you out here. That's what they did. But this ain't, I don't think people started turning in Alex Jones and the way the law is and the way the community standards are. The reason he got took him off all of them at one time was the same way Richard Spencer did it. Alex Jones would not leave the Sandy Hook issue alone. No matter what you believe about that, there are people out there that actually took him to court. He lost. All right, what the fuck you gonna do? What you gonna? People were out there, probably wasn't even their business, had nothing to do with them. Probably ain't their kids, nothing. They say it was the Sandy Hook parents. I ain't seen one of them involved in the lawsuit. But there's people out there saying that Alex Jones can't get away with, because the news said it really happened, and he's saying it didn't happen, right? They turned him in for that. And since it's on his Facebook, since it's on his YouTube, since it's on his Twitter, they shut those accounts down. That's how the system works, y'all. If you don't know the game, get the fuck out the game. I mean, if you don't know the rules, get the fuck out the game. It's a simple game with simple rules. We turn each other in. Now, in saying this too, and before I get off here, why do you think for the last 20 years, since right before the war on terror began in 2001 in the 90s, they started talking about turn in suspicious behavior, watch your neighbor, right? Right? Now we're on the internet where it's easy to do. Nobody's seeing you do it, so nobody knows you're a snitch. And I use that word. You goddamn right. You go turn in somebody, you're a snitch. I've done some snitching, so I ain't saying it like a bad thing. But we've all used this media to where we could. Somebody get our goat, fuck you, I turn you in. You wait for them to mess up. Somebody use the N word. Somebody always messes up, and you turn them in, get them a 12-hour suspension, you get them a 30-day suspension. Or like on my channel, I had enough people turn me in enough times. They were consistent. It's a white supremacist internet hit group, hate group, and they go around turning in trooper channels that have to talk about South Africa or racism, trying to make like when they say white people got it bad and you say they don't, these people go around and get you shut down. That happened to me. So I know what happened with Alex Jones, but also I know that, here's the other thing. He was an embarrassment to his New World Order masters, and I think he did that on purpose. So for that little bit, and I hope I'm right on that, Alex Jones, because you let me and millions of other people down over a decade ago. You sold us out. I mean, you flat out sold us out to them Bilderbergers. You should have just quit and went renegade or something. And I know they spooked you, and I know they threatened your family. You let us down, son. You started lying, and we hate liars. Even when we get caught up in a lie, we admit it. You won't even admit that. You won't admit about the FEMA coffins in Georgia. None of that shit. You won't admit. You want to keep people in fear, fear, fear. Because you know, fearful, they don't think. Well, so when people get shut down for telling you to think, that's when it's the New World Order. When a brother tells you to think about what the hell's going on, that's when it's the New World Order. But when he's telling you, that's the people they want out there. But they took him off because he's a clown. He turned into a clown. He was no longer a good public spokesman for the New World Order. David Knight and Joe Biggs got busted out. They're not good spokesmen for the New World Order. They all got fired because they sunk. The only one out there that was any good was probably Paul Michael Watson, and he was even getting insane with they're going way overboard. It's almost like you can watch them following the right-wing agenda, which ain't even there, which is another game. So when you see them playing in the big game of things and you're like, wow, the boy sold out. So there you go. There's the truth about Alex Jones. There's the truth about social media. Please pay attention to it. I know, look, y'all, I want to add something to it. I want the boy to redeem himself. I want him to come clean. He's going to say something about the reason he was took off. I'm telling you, it's because he was a clown and no longer a legitimate good spokesperson for the New World Order. That's all I'm going to say about Alex Jones. But we will see as we go through this period of mild and highly publicized internet censorship. It's coming. But we knew it was coming. Matter of fact, it came a long time ago. It's just you see it in mild forms like the 30-day suspension or your YouTube channel getting turned in and you get the strikes. You see what I'm saying now? You're already getting censored. You're already censored with political correctness because I don't hear nobody in public saying retard or this or that or using words you're not supposed to use. So you've already censored yourself. So if you're mad about the government censoring you, I'm sorry, and you're going to have to just cry about it. And I'm sorry if I cut anybody off. I've got to get off here. I just wanted to get that point across because, like I said, a brother came to me, and so I know it's going to wind up being out here, and everybody's going to be talking about it. Alex Jones ain't taking one for the team. Alex Jones is not on our side. Alex Jones is New World Order. He is their mouthpiece. He got rich off of them. He got rich off your internet money lying to you. He is not a friend of we the people. But I'm glad he's off the air, even though his own masters took him off, because, like I said, I'm giving him one thread of decency. I think Jones committed suicide, so to speak, on the internet because he got tired of lying to y'all. I hope that's true, Alex Jones. That's the last time I'm going to say that. I hope that's true. The rest of y'all, pay attention to this media because we got it for a little while and we can talk under certain terms. I'm not going to ever tell you to butter down or water down what you, or sugar up or salt up what you say or do out here on the net. You know what the fuck they can do. You know what they can do. This Alex Jones thing, it's going to get blown up. It's going to be, because see, it's a coming just like this storm. A bunch of crap. And I actually think they were worried that Alex Jones was going to bust them out once again and maybe go out since he don't have a family to protect, since he ain't got nobody to protect. I'd like to even think that. But I still think he's a sellout trader. I do think something's coming up, and I do think that the censorship thing is real, but it will not be the man. It will be your brother turning you in. Don't forget that. That's the most important thing in this message. Your brother is turning you in, not the man. The man ain't looking for you. The man could care less. The man has got his slaves telling on the other slaves. Oh, man, you talk about perfect slavery. You got the slaves telling on the slaves. Wow, man. Don't let them fool y'all. Come on, man. Be smart. I love y'all. Peace. And unlike you, Alex Jones, don't live in fear.